What's up, Spikes? Welcome back to a very special episode of the Goliath Gauntlet. This series, this entire gauntlet, is going to be a very different one in a lot of ways. So I know just from our comment section and our community on Discord, they always kind of give us a hard time. Whenever a Gauntlet series comes out, it's usually right around the time that either a card gets banned or suspended, or a hero gets living legended, like the Viserai Gauntlet that had just recently come out. That we got a lot of comments that, oh, Viserai isn't a hero that you can play anymore. And we're like, yeah, we know. But for this one, we are heading that off right at the pass. So you don't have to tell us. You can still comment if you want. That's fine. It's good for engagement. But we know, and this is intentional. We are going to be running Bravo Star of the Show, or as he's colloquially known, Starvo, through a Gauntlet series as like a send-off, as a goodbye into the great unknown sort of deal. And joining me today is the ever lovely Cayleigh.
Hi, I'm Cayleigh. You can find me on the internet as Madam Jund, mostly on Twitter. And today I will be playing Bravo Star of the Show, my big gay dad, through a classic constructed gauntlet, which will be the first time classic constructed is being done as a gauntlet on the channel, which is super exciting. Accompanying Bravo, we have our trusty icy bonk hammer, the Winter's Whale, which has once per turn action for 3 resource. It can attack for 4, and if I pitch an ice card to activate this ability, it creates frostbite on hit. And I have a Stalagmite, Bastion of Eisenloft for this matchup, which is an ice shield that whenever I defend with it, the defending player gets a frostbite token. I realized I skipped talking over Bravo. Bravo, our big gay dad, he's an elemental guardian hero that has all 3 essences from Tales of Aria. So he has Earth, Ice, and Lightning. And at the start of my turn, I can reveal all 3 elements from my hand to give an attack +2, dominate, and go again, which is absolutely brutal. And I love it so much.
When you get to do that, a lot of words.
Crippling Crush
yeah,
with Dominate.
13.
It's beautiful. 13 Dominate is absolutely fantastic. For this matchup, to supplement that, we have our trusty Crown of Seeds. We have a Fandel Spring Tunic, because who doesn't love a fancy gay man in a beautiful green dress?
It's very even though it's a spring tunic, it's very summery.
It is very summery. It's a beautiful summer dress. And we have a Crater Fist to supplement further punching, and an Ironhide Legs, because Guardian does not have great boot options. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but this is an outfit I would definitely wear at the Met Gala.
Oh, right? You just have this beautiful dress and you're just fully decked. And you just have plants growing out of your hair. It's wonderful.
That's something that Lady Gaga would do, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
But to complement that, or to try to combat this, I'm going to be playing Rhinar, Reckless Rampage, and it's a very straightforward Rhinar deck. I'm just looking to be intimidating and punch large. So to help with that, I'm running Mandible Claws. This is to assist with my Blood Rush Bellow turns, to potentially attack for 10 over just my 2 claws here. I also have the Arcanite Skullcap, just a good defensive option against a deck that wants to give things dominate, that for 13. I am also wearing a nice green dress, the Fandel Spring Tunic.
Such a nice dress.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awkward when you show up to an event and have the same outfit, though.
I know. One of us is going to have to change.
Oh, that's going to be you.
Dang it. I also have Gambler's Gloves to help with my luck for my Scabskin Leathers, because if you roll a 1 on Scabskin Leathers, it is well known that you just lose the game. So I have the Gambler's Gloves to hopefully re-roll to give myself slightly better luck.
I hope that Bill doesn't get that luck, because then I get free turns.
Yeah, you would.
I would.
So this gauntlet as well, it's different as I said in a couple different ways, where we're playing a hero that we already know is not going to be legal by the time this video comes out. We are also doing a classic constructed gauntlet, which is something that we haven't done before. And because of the new format of classic constructed, the games being just a little bit longer in general, what we're going to try out here is condensed commentary style videos. first. So we won't have the talking heads portion. There won't be quite as much banter. We will still have the intros and the outros just to talk about, the decks that we're playing and then how we felt about the games after. But we will, we're not going to see you the entire time through, but we will see you at the end. So thank you for watching, and we'll check in later.
See ya.
Let's get right into it. Cayleigh won the die roll, so she's going first. She starts the turn by ticking up her tunic to 1. Plays a blue Channel Lake Frigid, pitching a blue Winter's Grasp. With 1 resource floating, she arsenals a card from her hand, puts a flow counter on Channel Lake Frigid, and puts Winter's Grasp on the bottom of her deck. On Bill's turn, he ticks up his tunic to 1, and wastes no time by attacking with a yellow Barraging Bighorn. This is coming in for 6, pitching Wrecker Romp and a yellow Barraging Beatdown. With 1 resource floating, taking into account the extra cost due to Channel Lake Frigid. As an additional cost, he discards a yellow Beast Within, which triggers, and he banishes cards from the top of his deck until he hits one with 6 or more attack, losing 1 for each card banished. He immediately flips a yellow Smash Instinct, adds it to his hand, and loses 1 life. Barraging Bighorn gains Go Again from its own effect, and the Rhinar trigger intimidates. Cayleigh activates her Crown of Seeds to prevent 1 damage, pitching a red Spinal Crush. She declares no blocks and takes 5 damage. Bill arsenals 1 card to end his turn. Cayleigh starts off by ticking up her tunic to 2, and attacks with red Break Ground for 7, pitching a blue Disable. Bill declares no blocks and takes 7 damage. Cayleigh arsenals, puts a flow counter on Channel Lake Frigid, and can't pay the cost, so Channel Lake Frigid is destroyed. Bill starts off by ticking his tunic to 2, then plays a blue Sand Sketched Plan. He searches for a card, then discards a card at random, and if the discarded card has 6 or more power, he gains 2 action points. He discards yellow Barraging Bighorn, and the Rhinar trigger intimidates. Before the Rhinar trigger resolves, Cayleigh activates her Crown of Seeds, pitching a red Evergreen. Then the Intimidate happens. Bill attacks with a yellow Smash Instinct for 6, pitching a red Command and Conquer and yellow Beast Within. This triggers Intimidate. Cayleigh defends with a blue Disable for 3, and Crown of Seeds prevents 1 damage, so she'll take 2 total. Bill ends the turn by arsenaling 1 card. On Cayleigh's turn, she ticks up Tunic to 3, then follows it up with a yellow Evergreen, pitching a blue Glacial Footsteps. This attack's coming in for 6. There's no blocks, no attack reactions, but Bill defense reacts with red Sink Below for 4. He bottoms a card, then draws a card, and takes 2 damage. Cayleigh puts 1 card in her arsenal and ends the turn. Now it's Bill's turn to tick up his tunic to 3, and he swings in with a blue Wrecker Romp for 6, discarding yellow Barraging Beatdown and blue Awakening Bellow. Cayleigh activates her tunic to activate Crown of Seeds. There's no blocks and no attack reactions, but Cayleigh defense reacts with red Sink Below for 4. Her crown prevents 1, and she'll take 1 damage total. Bill passes the turn. Cayleigh ticks up her tunic to 1 and triggers Starvo, revealing blue Icy Encounter, blue Lightning Surge, and red Break Ground. So her next attack with cost 3 or greater gets +2 attack, Dominate, and Go Again. She attacks with red Break Ground for 9, pitching blue Lightning Surge. Bill blocks with his Skullcap for 2, then defense reacts with Unmovable from his arsenal. Cayleigh follows it up by attacking with Winter's Wail for 4 by pitching Icy Encounter. Bill doesn't want a Frostbite, so he blocks with Scabskin Leathers for 2 and Blue High Roller for 3. Cayleigh arsenals 1 card and ends her turn. Bill plays a yellow Blood Rush Bellow, paying with his tunic. This gives Bill's Brute attacks +2 attack this turn. Then he discards a Wrecker Romp, drawing him 2 cards and giving Blood Rush Bellow Go Again. And then Rhinar triggers Intimidate. Bill attacks with his Mandible Claw for 5, pitching red Swing Big and red Sink Below. Cayleigh activates her Crown of Seeds, pitching a blue Disable. Then blocks with blue Evergreen for 2, the Crown of Seeds prevents 1 damage, and she takes a total of 2 damage. Then Bill passes the turn. Cayleigh ticks up her tunic to 2, then follows it up by attacking with blue Evergreen, pitching blue Break Ground. This one's coming in for 5. Bill doesn't block, taking the whole 5 damage. Cayleigh arsenals a card and passes the turn. On Bill's turn, he ticks up his tunic to 1 and decides to roll for his Scabskin Leathers. He rolls a 5, gaining 2 action points. He plays a Barraging Beatdown, giving his next Brute attack +2 attack if it's not defended with 2 or more cards from hand. And Intimidates. He attacks with a red Savage Feast for 6 +2 from the Barraging Beatdown, pitching blue Reckless Swing to pay for it. He discards a yellow Wrecker Romp, which draws him a card, and Rhinar Intimidates. Before the Rhinar trigger resolves, Cayleigh activates Crown of Seeds, pitching red Crippling Crush. Then the Intimidate happens. Cayleigh blocks with Stalagmite, creating a Frostbite token under Bill's control. The Crown of Seeds prevents 1 damage, and she takes 5 total. Bill arsenals 1 card and passes the turn. Cayleigh ticks up her Tunic to 3, and then attacks with a red Crippling Crush, using the Tunic resource and pitching blue Cayleigh Frigid and blue Breakground. Bill blocks with Alpha Rampage for 3 and his Scabskin Leathers for 1. He then defense reacts with Reckless Swing for 4. He discards yellow Barraging Bighorn and Cayleigh takes 2 damage. After all the reactions are said and done, Bill takes 3 from the Crippling Crush. Cayleigh arsenals a card and passes back to Bill. Bill ticks up his Tunic to 2, then plays a yellow Barraging Beatdown from his arsenal just to get it out of the way. He arsenals a different card and passes the turn. Cayleigh starts off her turn by ticking up her Tunic to 1, then triggers Starvo, revealing blue Flash, blue Breakground, and blue Cayleigh Frigid. Cayleigh attacks with red Oaken Old, pitching Flash. She fuses it with Cayleigh Frigid and Breakground, coming in for 11 damage. Bill declares no blocks, takes 11, and has to put 2 cards from his hand on the bottom of his deck. Cayleigh follows that up by attacking with Winter's Wail for 4, pitching the Cayleigh Frigid. Bill defense reacts with a blue Reckless Swing for 4 from his arsenal, discarding a red Barraging Beatdown. Cayleigh passes the turn. With not a lot to do on his turn, Bill ticks up his Tunic to 3, arsenals 1 card, and passes. Cayleigh starts off her turn by ticking up her Tunic to 2, then triggering Starvo, revealing blue Breakground and red Pulse of Volthaven. She attacks with the blue Glacial Footsteps for 10, pitching blue Breakground and blue Flash, then fuses it with the Pulse of Volthaven. Bill blocks with his Skullcap for 1, taking 9, going down to 2 life. Cayleigh passes the turn. In desperation, Bill rolls for Scabskin Leathers. He rolls a 6 and gains 3 action points. He plays a red Barraging Beatdown, which intimidates. He follows it up with a yellow Barraging Beatdown, intimidating again. He then attacks with a red Savage Feast, pitching Smash Instinct. He discards Massacre, intimidates twice, draws a card, and this attack's coming in for 13. Cayleigh blocks with Stalagmite, creating a Frostbite token under Bill's control, then takes 11 damage from the attack. Bill arsenals 1 card and passes back to Cayleigh. Cayleigh ticks up her Tunic to 3 and triggers Starvo, revealing Pulse of Volthaven and Breakground. She attacks with the Breakground, pitching blue Winter's Grasp. This one's coming in for 9 with Dominate. Bill can't block all of it, and he loses the game.
Well, you did Starvo me. That is what Starvo does, hey?
Yeah, that's pretty much just what Starvo does. Big Gay Dad. We didn't have the audio, but every time I had a 3-card reveal, I kept going Big Gay Dad.
Yeah.
Just to really push Bill that, yes, big attacks were coming in. And yeah, Bravo got to do basically what Bravo wants to do. Off turns, just block with 1 or 2 cards, hit back small, arsenal and keep it rolling. And then the one turn where I had the fused Oaken Old, we just perfectly drew Oaken plus 3 elements. And the second I drew it, I said to Bill directly, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
because that took the game from being an even tempo. I think we were both at like 25-ish to here's 11 damage.
Here's 11, then plus 4. Also, you lose 2 cards. And it was rough from there because the very last turn there is very emblematic of why Starvo is such a strong hero right now. Like, just you have access to so many great cards, but then also if you get your opponent down to like less than 4 and they don't have a defense reaction, a Starvo activation literally just means they're dead. Yeah. Yep. It's just I still had all these. but yeah, I think that went pretty well. I would have loved to see some of my powerful cards on different turns. I did have one turn there where I played out the Barraging Beatdown from my arsenal just so I could arsenal a different card, which ended up being a Reckless Swing. And I drew 4 non-attack actions, which it didn't change anything because it was also the Oaken Old turn where it was already dominated.
Yeah.
But it just felt bad because it's like the most that I could get is just an extra 2 damage and my deck wouldn't even let me have that.
No.
Like not even a chance of it, just no. But at least I hit a bunch of really good rolls on Scabskins.
Scabskins for 3 was insane.
Yeah. I got 1 action point, then 2, then 3.
Yep,
so
that's fair.
Perfect series. But yeah, so I think that was a very great start to this gauntlet. Hopefully the other games are not quite as Oaken Olded, but it still makes for good TV.
1 Crippling Crush off that wasn't Starvoed.
Yes.
And then the Oaken that was.
Yes.
So
both
maybe we'll get a Starvode crippling.
We'll just have to see, and you will have to see next time when you tune in for episode 2
of the Big Gay Dad!
Big Gay Gauntlets! Anyway, stay safe, stay well, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Spike Feeders on YouTube. Before you close the window, make sure you click subscribe for more great Flesh and Blood content.